Now, if you're like most coaches, you're going to be confused and frustrated. You're going to be frustrated because you're probably trying so many different things, and you're confused because you're being told by so many different people that there's so many different things that you have to be doing. And that sucks at the end of the day because you're probably not seeing the results that you want. So what we're going to be doing in this series right now is walking you through the 4 most important points. That is, number 1, how do you actually coach your clients online? You being a face-to-face one-on-one trainer, how do you go to a online trainer, whether you want to do face-to-face and online, or whether you want to go to 100% online business? Number 2, what is it that you need to be doing to attract in so you have clients coming to you? Really importantly, we're going to break down how it is that you are going to have a funnel to make sure that you've got the exact right type of clients coming to you, and then you can actually turn them into clients. Number 3, we're going to be going through Facebook ads, really making sure you understand how you can actually switch on Facebook ads, and it's not a wish and a hope scenario. It's how do you actually know that you're going to be doing money in and getting more money out, creating profits from this. And then number 4, how do you actually scale your business? How do you truly turn your fitness business into a business where you're earning the money that you want, living the lifestyle and having the freedom that you want, and impacting the people that you want as well? By far, one of the most common questions that we get is how do you coach clients online? And that's what we're going to be covering in this episode and in the article that comes with it in depth, showing you step by step what it is that you need to be able to do. Because if you're training clients now one-on-one in the gym, in the studio, maybe even outside, that's what we call the old personal training model. And we're talking about how do you transfer into the new personal training model, which is a business that surrounds about how do you earn the money that you want? How do you create the freedom that you want? How do you create the impact with your love for health and fitness? And that's why we're in this game anyway. Now, to be really honest, this isn't about, even though we're living in Bali, I've never once brought my laptop to the beach, even though the beach is just 2 minutes from us right now. I've never sat there on like a sun chair, like tapping away. Never done it. You're going to have to work hard. This is about actually creating a business where you can live around wherever you want in the world. So you can earn so much more money and have impact. But let's not be a douchebag about it. This isn't about like another Instagram trainer that's doing like a $50 product for a personalized 12-week program or any of that. This is for you if you are KBIT. Right now, you are a good personal trainer and you're getting results with your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we're going to break things down pretty simply in the video. Now, if you go through the article, you're going to see things broken down much more specifically into step-by-step action plans. So number 1, basically, when it comes to transitioning from face-to-face training predominantly to moving into online training, is defining your number. So what is that number for you? Your income number, whether it's per month, per quarter, per year, what is that number that you need to hit in order to create the freedom that you want in both your time and financially, and to be able to impact the number of people that you want in their lives, in their fitness, in whatever aspect of their life that you want to touch.
No, that's really important because this is the problem, and this is where we've all fallen into the old personal training model, not knowing a number, not knowing what it is that you really want to do. And you've got to ask yourself right now, do you want to continue doing your business right now for the next 2, 5, 10 plus years from this? Is it that you're not earning the money, not having the freedom, just not enjoying the work that you really want to do? And how do you want to make that transition point from this?
Yeah, because if you don't have the number, then you have nothing to work towards, right? Creating this number initially allows us to do one simple thing, is work backwards from it. So if we have that number to shoot for, whether it's 4K, 5K, 10K a month, whatever it is, we have that number, and then we can structure your business off of that number. So we can figure out, okay, how many one-on-one clients do you need? Do we need to diversify your income into, say, a membership site or a product launch or something like that, right? But if you have that number, then that's what we can work with.
Okay, Josh has absolutely nailed it, because that's the thing, like whenever a new coach comes on board with us, we have to ask a critical question. How much money do you want to earn? How much money do you want your business to be able to run? And the thing is, if you say, I want to earn $100,000, cool. So we set up, what's the best actual model? What's the best plan that's going to suit you to be able to earn $100,000 doing the work that you want? Now, it's different if a coach comes in and says, I want to earn $500,000 a year, because you don't do 5 times more what a $100,000 business model is to get there.
Yeah.
It's a different business. It's a different model, and that's why so many coaches, if you don't grasp his concept, then you're kind of like a wheel just like churning around. You're not actually going to get to where you want to go.
And it doesn't make sense from the outside. And like I know, looking at some case studies and stuff, and seeing people, actually making ridiculous amounts of money in this realm, it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, like even if you new guys out there, to imagine somebody making, such an amount of money just training clients online. Well, they're not just training clients online.
Yeah.
We've structured their business. This is where the business side of fitness really becomes important. Yeah, so number 2 in this whole process, once you define your number, what you need is why you. What makes you special? This stems from
not
what
just
you're
because
doing.
your mummy told you. From your customer's point of view.
Yeah, from your customers, and then from your point of view. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? What makes you different? What are you doing now in your face-to-face business that you want to package up and give to the world, right? And from that, you have to decide and really nail down and define who it is you're targeting, who it is you're talking to, in every single aspect of your marketing, your content production, the colors that you use. It comes down to everything. So you have to define who you are, what makes you different, and who are you after?
Just to use like a super quick example, because I just shot a live stream for the coaches in the Coaches Cartel, was with a new Inner Circle member, Adam, and perfectly on his landing page. So his target market is poker players. He was a professional poker player. Now he is actually going to be coaching poker players to how to be a better poker player and to be able to thrive in their life, to look, feel, and function the way that they want. And perfectly, the language that he's using, his first headline on his opt-in was attention poker players, do you want to go all in on life? That was his first headline, and that's perfect. He's calling out his exact target market, poker players. Then he's using the language that only that market uses. Do you want to go all in on your life? And I just think he just absolutely knocked that out of the park. That was so good, and it's working so well.
Yeah, for sure. And this gets even more important when it comes down to the actual sales process itself. Because yes, you want leads pouring in. You want those people coming in interested in your services. But what you don't want is people that don't necessarily fit that ideal client bracket, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to actual, sales time, whether it's on your sales page or on a consult call with you, you want to be talking to people that already know you. They already know what you're all about. They're basically sitting there asking to give you money and just asking when to start. It's not a conversation where you're trying to wrestle money away from people, right? We don't do that. We want people to be actively interested in working with you and be the type of client that you want to work with as well. So you're not wasting time like turning people away, which you should do, by the way. You should turn people away if they're not your ideal client. Refer them somewhere else.
We'll cover this also in an upcoming episode, but the actual how do you sign clients on board? What's that actual process that you're doing? What's the sales without being salesy? Because it really is so simple. And that's where we really show you that you shouldn't be trying to impress the people that are coming to. So many trainers think they've got to do this big song and dance to try and get someone to say, oh, okay, I'm going to pump my money, I'll become a client of yours and start coaching with you. That's not how it works. You should stop impressing and you really should start assessing. Are you assessing them? Are they the right fit to join you? Because if you are bringing the right type of people on board, everything that you do is going to be so much better. You're going to get so much better results with your actual clients as well. And you're going to be able to refine the message to make sure that you're bringing in the right people.
Yeah, and that actually leads directly into our next point. Number 3 is how are you going to be seen? So how are you going to get your message out there? Whether it's social media, your email list, which comes later on. What are you using? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of the above.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, but you have to decide how are you going to be seen and in what way.
Yeah.
Basically crafting your brand message and being that it's that first point of contact.
And importantly, you've got to figure out which one do you start with. You don't start with all of them because so many people are going to go, I'll do Instagram and Instagram stories and Facebook Lives and I'll do a Facebook group and I'll build my email list and I'll do some YouTube videos and I'll start a podcast. And you turn to shit because you're trying to do too many things. Do you know what I mean? You're trying to spin too many plates and plates are going to fall and you're not going to catch any of them. None of them are going to work. So that's where we decide what's going to be, number 1, where's your market? What platforms are they actually on? 2, what do you enjoy? What do you enjoy doing and what are you good at? And therefore you can start to decide, okay, my market's on Instagram. I enjoy doing images and some short videos. Instagram's going to be where I'm going to go and start off. Then you can start building in the other platforms as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that all has to be structured, but what happens when it comes to the actual business of training itself, right? So you have a structure and a system that you use when you train people one-on-one, right? Well, when it comes time to training people online, whatever method that you use, structure and systems and frameworks become even more important, because if you don't structure and systemize everything, you're going to be on your ass scrambling for time, because you're going to be spending all of your time on a laptop instead of on the gym floor, and you just have the same problem as before. So every single aspect of your business needs to be systemized, down to your program design, your nutrition program design, your assessment process, your weekly check-in and progress markers. All of that has to be systemized. Systemizing your financial tracking and your weekly KPIs.
Yeah.
All of these things. So all of it should be systemized and structured in a specific way so that you can maximize your delivery to your clients while minimizing your time invested in that. Not in a negative way. You're not just trying to throw off programs as fast as possible. You're actually trying to streamline your own process of designing these programs so that you can more consistently deliver packages that produce results for these people. Because honestly, if you're spending 4, 5, 6 hours every single time a new client comes on board, number one, you're probably not refining your market enough, because most clients that come on board, if you're targeting them correctly, they're going to need similar needs, right? You're going to have similar goals. So you should have templates that you can pull from that are already 3/4 of the way done, that you can then just tweak, alter a little bit, create like a different diet approach for them, etc. But for the most part, it should take you no longer than half an hour to really get somebody going right away.
Yeah, totally nailed it. And that's the thing, if you don't have these systems in place, you don't have a business. And this is the thing, like, you're really just running a job. There's a couple of things you need to look at. Can you actually walk away from your business and it's still going to produce you an income and thrive? Do you know what I mean? Because if you don't, well, you're not really a business owner. You're a job owner at the end of the day. But the thing is, for you to be able to really transition from, say, like, trainer to like entrepreneur, like real business owner, then you need to be able to have these systems in place. And this is where you're just going to have to take what we're doing, and we'll also pop a link below to show you the actual steps, the coaching workshop, that where we walk you through what the steps are for you to do. Because the thing is, there are going to be a lot of people watching this coaching video right now, and I don't want you to think that this is just like a cookie cutter, everyone has to do these steps. No, That's why we're going to attach this link to get you access into the coaching workshop. So what you'll be able to do is actually figure out, okay, I'm missing these holes right now. There's a bit of a Swiss cheese problem. These are my holes. This is what I need to plug, and then you can move on with it.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's different with everybody that we talk to, right? Because I mean, a lot of coaching programs, even fitness coaching or business coaching programs, you come on board and you're given one, platform, cookie cutter. Here, follow these videos, follow these guides. Just, follow this and you should have success. When really you need to take an assassin's approach, right? If you're here right now in your business, okay, what do we need to do in the next 4 weeks in order to achieve that goal?
Yeah.
All you need to focus on is this: execute, execute, execute.
Yeah.
So number 4, am I on now? Yeah, number 4. Number 4 is nailing down your pricing structure, essentially. So defining what services you're going to provide, using that ultimate income goal that we talked about before, and then developing your pricing structure based off of that.
Okay, really importantly, this is where you actually need to look at what can the market bear. Now let's use an example outside of fitness right now, because I know a lot of coaches say like, I'm worth this much. Okay, cool. That's what you think you're worth right now. Let's look at it in real estate, homes for instance. Do you know what I mean? I put my place on the market right now and it goes to auction. Now the thing is, I could say, all right, my house is worth $1.5 million. Do you know what I mean? But if I put it onto auction and it only sells for 1.3, well, it's 1.3. That's what it is.
Yeah,
so the thing is, if you want to think, okay, I want to be really good and I want to throw it out there, and I'm a high tier level coach. Do you know what I mean? I'm providing the absolute best, and you put a real price, but no one's buying it. Well, there's a problem that needs to be filled up though there. But on the flip side, let's not think about going down the whole like Instagram trainer, the whole lowest price possible, because that is just a fast track to the bottom right now. And if you're honestly wanting to do, actually, so a perfect example, another Inner Circle member had a call with David this morning. He's had 4 different income streams he wanted to do. He wanted to do a low-end membership site that was actually going to be $5 a month. To people to be able to join. Now, obviously, he wasn't going to be getting heaps and heaps. It's only $5 a month. It's super cheap. But he was also going to be, his online coaching is $3,000. What he's selling for his online coaching is $3,000 per month per client. And I said to him, there's too much of a discrepancy. A coach that charges $3,000 a month for a one-on-one online coaching client doesn't offer a $5 a month. Maybe later down the track when you've got big numbers and you can kind of open it up and you're going to have like 500, 1,000 members flowing through that. Okay, maybe, but like from a branding perspective, because if like I'm going towards a $3,000 a month coaching client right now, coach, do you know what I mean? Like I'm expecting high level stuff, and that kind of client that wants that is going to expect everything to be high level. So you want to make sure everything matches exactly where you want to take it.
Yeah, and that you create that depending on who you're targeting, right? If you're targeting high-end people, only offer high-end packages, even your low-end offers, right? So this leads into the next area of actually building your business. And so the first level of building your business is knowing what you need to build. So that's creating your tier system. What does your business actually look like? What are the steps of your service? Do you have, everybody normally should have a low-end free offer, right? So a low barrier to entry, low-hanging fruit, they call it, so that people can easily grab something of yours, get into your network, get into your email list, get closer with you, and ingest a piece of your content that actually helps them in a very real way. And then step number 2 would be your lowest end paid offer, which can be anything from, say, a one-off product to a membership site, etc. The options are endless. Step number 3, you can have 1 to 3 to 5 to 6 steps in your business. Starting off,
when you start growing.
When you start growing, but when you start off, it's best to have probably about 3. Right.
So I'll actually do another coaching episode coming up that is what I call like the value pyramid. So like at the top, what we've got is like your free content. Do you know what I mean? And really what we do is our top of the pyramid, the free stuff, is actually a really big part. We just give absolutely tons. There is hours of coaching that is for free, that is literally walking you through. And obviously if you go into the free workshop and click the link below, you'll see that there's so much more given away right there. But really when it comes to actually like coaches coming on board and wanting to actually become a part of the Coaches Cartel and what they're paying for, well then that's where we deliver so much, do you know what I mean? But we've got really 2 main offers with what we're being able to do. Now when it comes to your coaching business right now, think of that value pyramid that I'll go deeper into, but essentially what is that free stuff that you're giving away at the top? How are you actually attracting in people? And then what are the other couple of levels? And really think of the bottom of that pyramid. What is what I call like your Rolls Royce version? If a client walks in and says, I want these results, how do we get those results? What's the quickest, easiest way for you to be able to get your clients the results? And I actually help clients be able to start with that and then go upwards from there. Because if you know, perfect scenario right now, okay, maybe it's $1,000 a month for a client to come on board my online coaching. This is what it's going to entail right now. This is what I do for them. Okay, what's a next level? Maybe if somebody can't hit that budget, what's the next thing? Kind of breaking it down. It obviously means you don't get as much time with you, but obviously you're still able to get great results for the clients.
Yeah, I like that Rolls Royce analogy there. That's not bad. Yeah, so from that, let's talk a little bit about the marketing focus. We talked a little bit earlier about focusing on where you're putting out your content, essentially. But in terms of what we're doing right now, explain a little bit about what we teach in terms of focusing your marketing efforts on, say, 3 main avenues and how they all connect each other.
Yeah. Okay. So really, like basically, if you boil it down right now, you've got to think about what's that message that we've already talked about. We've talked about the medium, and you're going to be using. Is it on YouTube? Is it on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is? Do you know what I mean? You've got to choose what it is. But then effectively, where do you want to take them? What's the actual connection between, all right, you're now watching my training videos and now I'm starting to build a rapport with you. Do you know what I mean? Is it building a Facebook group? Is it building your email list? Is it building your Facebook Messenger list? Is it just like getting in contact with them? Is it having a phone call with them? Like there's so many options with what you need to be able to do here, but this is where you need to figure out what's your message that you're going to be able to make sure that you're talking to the right people. How do you have a platform where you're going to consistently be able to reach those people and get them to see what it is that you're doing? And then obviously, how do you start building rapport with them? Because remember, the real basics of the marketing is the know, like, and trust. Do you know what I mean? How do you build know, like, and trust with what it is that you're doing with your potential leads, market, prospects, clients, so then you can figure out what it is that you need to do. So once you have your actual message, then you have your medium, then you have your media, then you can start to connect it all together.
Yeah, and that's really big because I see a lot of guys and gals with hundreds of thousands of followers on, we were talking about this before, on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. And they have all this content that they're putting out. It's good content, right? But there is nowhere for anybody to go. Like
it's so hard for somebody to buy.
It's so hard for somebody to get any service from them or their products and stuff, right? And so they might have a link to their website, but once you get onto their website, it's just a landing page with a big, nice, pretty picture of them and their abs.
Yeah.
But it's still confusing on where to go. How do you work with this person? It's not there, right? So if there's a disconnect, like if you're producing that content and that awesome value right now, but you don't have anywhere for people to click or go through in order to learn more about you and your services or more of your free stuff so they can buy from you in the long run, then what are you really doing?
Yeah.
You're actually not delivering enough value to those people in a way by not offering that next level of service.
Yeah, totally.
So,
you're just making things too hard, and this is where like we can look at so many big players in the health and fitness world that have really big followers, but the problem is there's so much lost money because you can see that there's just some basic holes in the foundation. People are clicking onto like the homepage of your website and it's just like nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no options. There's no funnel for them to go through. There's no like relationship building. There's no like, this is your next best steps. This is how I can help you. Yeah. It's just too confusing.
So funnels is good. We should talk about that briefly.
Yep.
So what's a good example for like a first basic funnel, taking somebody from say a video or a video series into actually becoming a client?
Okay, super simply, like we can even say, let's even take email out of the equation. That could be even too complicated. Let's even get that advanced right now.
Yeah.
You could say, produce content on Facebook. You push people into a Facebook group. This is literally what we're doing right now. There's examples of Tyler that's been able to do this to kick off, and he's charging $1,000 a month for coaching clients. And so this is the actual formula that we've used. Content on Facebook. Push people into a Facebook group, engage with those people and make sure that you're asking questions, you're engaging with them, you're getting to know exactly what it is that they want. You're giving them content every day so they obviously see you as the answer to the problem that they're having. They're building a relationship with you. You can get in touch with them and then you can sell directly to them. In that Facebook group, you can do a video, you can do a post that leads to say like a simple sales page or a simple sales video that then leads on to booking a call, signing on the client. Literally that simple. And I know if you're thinking right now, okay, that's too easy right now. It doesn't have to be hard. Life is easy when you make it easy. And this is the thing, it doesn't have to be these fully advanced. And we can go advanced funnels, like we can do that, but the problem is you don't actually need to do that, especially at the start. And then there's the omnipresence. Do you know what I mean? How can you be on Facebook? How can you be on Instagram? How can you be on Facebook Messenger? How can you be on YouTube? How can you get them listening to you on the podcast? Do you know what I mean? There's all these different platforms that you can be working together in one. And now obviously if that's too advanced, if you're just starting out, forget what I just said, go back to step one, nail that number. Then if you want to take that next, then you need to start thinking omnipresence and actually being anywhere, because when you are, as we know, the thing is the results are just absolutely next level. That's when you have leads pouring in and you're able to have clients churning week in, week out.
The next level is a good term because you have to know what level you're starting at, right? I see it all the time, people who are trying to basically transition from one-on-one to online. They waste so much time going through, how to build, these intricate funnels, how to perfect their social media presence first, and then they're ready to launch their product and stuff. When really, what is the main problem? Usually, it's money. Adding money to your bottom line, every month so that you can have more time freedom and more flexibility in terms of growing your business in the long run, right? How do you do that? You don't do that by focusing on all the intricacies of complex marketing strategies and funnel systems and, content production and all these weird spider ways. And Facebook ads too. Yeah, we were going to talk about that next. But Facebook ads. You don't need to put out a single Facebook ad or have a website at all out there in order to launch your first program within the first 30 days and add that first, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6,000 to your bottom line. You don't need that. All you need is some hard work, some targeted strategies, and a group of people that know you, like you, trust you, which is very easy to develop if you know what to focus on. But it's all about focus.
Yeah. No, Josh absolutely nailed it, and that's the thing. Like, we get so many coaches coming on board, and one of the biggest mistakes that we see really commonly is one, people spending way too much on a website, spending way too much money and also way too much time on a website, because the thing is, you don't need a website to actually get this up and running. It's actually a lot easier if you don't. A lot of clients come on board and they've got websites, and we actually say, let's just put that onto the back burner,
and
we'll come back to that later, because
and then completely redo it.
Exactly, do it properly as well. Because the thing is, a lot of the time people are looking at websites and it's just a fancy brochure. It's not actually a high converting asset for your business at the end of the day. And then there's Facebook ads. You shouldn't be running Facebook ads unless you know the process that you are taking people is working. Otherwise, you're literally just pissing money away. You're just throwing the money away, and it's an absolute waste. So what you want to be able to do is know, okay, I know these set of steps are working. So then really when I turn Facebook ads on, and this is the way we teach it, is it's going to be, okay, I give Mark Zuckerberg $5. He's going to give me 20 bucks back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you can just do that over and over again, and that's why you want it set up.
Yeah, but initially, if you don't have it set up correctly, throwing more money at Facebook ads does not equal more money back. It actually just equals throwing it into a money shredder. Yeah. Because Facebook doesn't know what to do with it. It just pukes it out there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, as far as the technology side goes, which this kind of leads into, another roadblock I see people struggle with is the technology overwhelm. Like, you're not a technology guy, right? You know, I'm a little bit more of a tech guy, but still, I'm really I'm not a full-blown nerd, but like, not being a tech person is no reason to hold you back from this stuff.
I actually know most, I don't know, maybe not most, a lot of the very successful online people are really bad at technology.
Yeah, they're really
it's not about technology.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why we have teams of people doing that stuff, like setting all that stuff. Like, I don't deal with the websites. I don't deal with all that technology stuff. I can give it off to someone and they can do that work. It's about understanding just what needs to be done on a strategy point of view, and that's obviously where I really think the forte is, and then being able to get the stuff done that actually matters.
Yeah, you're not a web designer, you're a trainer, you're a coach.
Yes.
Right? And so you have to remember that. And you know, in the onset, if you're starting off completely flat broke, you know, God forbid, but if you are, there are still ways to do this by yourself without spending so much time.
That's a really good point, because that's a really, really good point. Because the thing is, you shouldn't be spending a lot of money to get this up and running. Like, to tell you the truth, the very, very vast majority of the coaches, when getting on board, we've got to look at two different things. And it's probably these two different things for you right now. One, how do we have a really quick injection of clients coming on board? Because you want clients in cash coming on board. Let's get a proof of concept. And then second, how do we have a system that you can trust that's going to continuously, week in, week out, get clients coming on board?
Yeah, grow it. So I like to think of it in the first 30 days, you know, that first fast influx. And then how do we take that, what's working in that system, and scale it over the next 30, 60, 90 days? So it's two phases, basically.
Nailed it.
Yeah. What do we have left to talk about here? I think maybe structuring your life in a general sense. Structuring your business, first of all, and structuring your life, because all of this sounds great, right? But I say all of this in terms of it's a lot. It can be a lot to handle. You know, building an actual business online, not just a job, but a business. So structuring your week in an intelligent manner is extremely important. And what I've found that's worked best for me for years, and I think you as well, is taking a look at your week in general at a very basic level. You know, we can take a look at weeks, months, quarters, years. But when it comes down to your week, how are you structuring your week in terms of time blocks? How are you allocating your time to the different areas that you need to focus on? So when are you designing your programs? When are you writing nutrition programs? When are you creating your content? When are you publishing that content, right? When are you doing client check-ins? When are you doing every single thing that we just talked about? It's all great, but you have to have the time set aside to actually do it. And if you just try to go through your week haphazardly, doing it just as you remember or as it comes up, constantly putting out fires, you are never going to grow. You are never going to get past the first phase of, you know, the birth of your business. You're never going to be able to scale it to a certain level. So at the very beginning, it's important to create that structure so that whatever you do build, it is scalable in the long term.
Yeah, totally. No, it's a perfect point, because the thing is, actually, that would be the biggest mistake that we see coaches when coming through is it's just ad hoc. Everything's really random. Do you know what I mean? I'll do a Facebook post, I'll do an Instagram post, I'll try and get this together. Maybe they're trying to put this stuff together in between their face-to-face clients, do you know what I mean? Or maybe they're trying to it just doesn't work that way. You need to be able to have a structure. You need to treat yourself and your business seriously. Like, you need to actually function. You need to get in flow, and you need to be at the best performing peak state mentally as well, to make sure that you're producing the best type of work. And this is why when it comes to, like, really encapsulating this entire episode that is like, how do you coach clients online? We've covered a lot of stuff that I know a lot of coaches are going to think weren't a part of this subject, but this is, you need to answer all of these questions. This is all the different cogs in the engine that essentially is you and your business. And a big part of your business is you. And that's where you need to be able to figure out, when are you doing this work? When are you spending good chunks of time? And when we start off with, we look at, okay, how do we have 3 90-minute blocks? And then these 3 90-minute blocks, if we then expand, when are you going to be spending the other blocks of time that's going to be focusing on how do you do lead generation? How do you start doing the actual publication of your content? How do you start doing the actual delivery systems of what your coaching program is going to be? And then actually start working through the different processes as well. So it's a really good start. Look at your week right now. Literally open up your calendar right now and look at it and say, okay, when are you going to be doing these blocks of time? Because if you're doing it in little ad hoc here and there, spits and spats, it's not going to work.
And that actually leads to more problems down the line, because part of being a coach, at least for us, is constantly becoming a better coach. So, you constantly have to be developing yourself as well as your business. Now, if you're ad hoc, doing things at random throughout the week, trying to build this business, trying to train clients in person, online, designing programs, et cetera, you're gonna have zero time for self-development. And that's gonna prevent you from becoming a better coach in the long run. Because we can talk about all the business building, techniques, all the marketing strategies that we want, but at the end of the day, if you're not a good coach, if you're not constantly developing yourself and pushing your own limits in terms of what you're delivering to your clients, we can't help you. No amount of marketing and stuff, like we said before, can help a crappy product.
This is only for good coaches. And that's why we had to put the caveats at the very start.
Yeah.
So to put this into a nutshell right now, you need to think about, what are you missing from everything that we've covered, from all the different points that we've covered through this? What is it that you don't have? What is it that you need to be able to work on? You need to structure this on down. Now, that's actually why we did the 100K Coach workshop. So you can click the link below to get access to it. That'll simply just walk you through in the entire scope, saying 40,000 foot view, how does your business look, and are you in the right business model right now? How are you actually starting to attract clients? How are you actually turning, say, leads into clients? And then how are you actually delivering your coaching as well? Because when it comes to, say, like, how do I coach clients online, it's not about what app do I use that I know so many coaches are thinking about. Because if you don't actually answer all of that, and that's why we haven't dived into it in this episode, is because we can't say, oh, go use this app, because that is just a ridiculously shit answer, because so many people are trying to say that. And if you actually figure out the rest of you, if you actually do the work right now, actually use your noggin and put the answers together, then you'll actually figure out what is going to be the best suit for you, and long term you're going to have so much more success.
Yeah, get out of your own way, really, because you are limiting your own results in every single way, every day, and you don't know what you don't know. So take a step back, take a look at what we've done, go through the 100K Coach Plan, because it really kind of structures that process of taking a look at where you're lacking right now. And like we said before, take a look at the full article that's attached to this video too.
Yeah, highly recommend that.
Yeah, well,
Josh did a phenomenal effort putting together this article. So I highly recommend you go through that. And really, this is going to help, obviously, in conjunction with this episode, walk you through with it. But you did a great job.
Sweet, yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to talking to you guys on the inside.
All right, so make sure, any questions at all, make sure you do comment below. If this has been helpful, then we would really appreciate you hitting the like and sharing this out to your other coaches as well. And as always, thank you so much, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.
Absolutely.